Hello again, YouTube. This vlog is basically just a bit of an update and letting you know where I'm at the moment. I've just completed an 8 to 9 week, I don't know, I guess you'd call it like a mini diet. There was never really the goal to compete at the end of it. I had my surgery in mid-June. I didn't really train properly for 3 weeks. Then when I did come back, it took me a while to get back to full speed again. Kind of lost the momentum of my last show, which I built up, had the surgery, had time off, and then built my training back up again. So I kind of lost a bit of momentum and I was looking very off season. I looked kind of soft. I lost that pop. To be totally transparent, I wasn't that happy with how I looked. So what I decided to do was do a bit of a recomp phase. Initially, I thought in my head it would take about 4 weeks or so. I got to the 4 week point and I wasn't overly happy with how I looked still, so I just kept on going. By about the 6, 7 week mark, I started, thinking, okay, cool. And then I got to like 7, 8 weeks and I was like, I think I'm pretty much there now. I dropped 16 kilograms in total. So I started, I think it was 16. Well, I started at 133 kilograms and I worked my way down to 116.8. Now I'm certainly happy with how I look, but I'm not fully in stage condition. I would say if I were to keep pushing from this point, it would be another 2 to 3 weeks maybe. And the really cool thing about it as well is for me to get to this point, there is not really any struggle. It's just that final stretch that I find a little bit of a struggle with prep. And I think what it usually comes down to is lack of sleep. Sleep goes out the window when you start getting lean. Well, it certainly does for me. And I know a lot of other competitors have the same thing as well. It's like when you get to a certain level of body fat, your body just doesn't really want to switch off anymore. And I always find myself waking up at around about 3 and then maybe 4 and then 5. Like, it's just hard to get that full night's sleep. So that's when things start getting a bit more tough, when you only get like 3 to 5 hours sleep a night. The accumulative effect of that over the course of several weeks starts to take a bit of a toll. But it's definitely manageable. But I would say that's probably the thing that affects me most on prep. Hunger and energy is all manageable. Certainly hunger. I don't get particularly hungry. I've got the biggest appetite. Energy is taking a hit because of the lack of sleep. Anyway, so there was never a goal of competing at the end. That being said, I'm now here. And I think one of the reasons why I wanted to do this vlog was to say I'm feeling a bit of a mini lull. Not having that thing at the end feels a little bit underwhelming. And I kind of knew this going into it, but I thought it'd be okay. And it is okay. It's not, what I'm experiencing is very, very mild. It's not really a problem. But I guess I still wanted to talk about it because it's something that potentially people can relate to. So it feels like you're working towards something and then all of a sudden that thing isn't there at the end. And it's like, huh. So now I'm transitioning into eating more food, rebounding out of this phase. So my body composition should be a lot better. But the weird thing is, eating more food, the idea of it right now isn't particularly appealing. Like in my mind, I'm sort of like, where I don't have a coach, I'm kind of battling with myself whether I should eat more or just stay low. And it's weird. I think this is why longer term I do need a coach, because I end up second guessing myself all the time. And it's very funny because you can give advice really easily, but then taking advice. I mean, how many times have you been able to give your friend advice about a relationship or a situation in general? Maybe something that, with their boss at work or a colleague, or, as I say, their girlfriend, their boyfriend, and you're able to tell them because you're seeing it from an objective standpoint without any emotion involved. You're not the one feeling it. And you're able to advise them really, really well. But then when you are in the situation, it feels quite different. So I think that's why I do need a coach for these types of things. I even found myself, when I was giving myself refeed days, I gave myself like 3 refeed days in the 9 weeks. And when I was having them, I almost backed out of them. So I was halfway through the day thinking, do I even need this food? And that's just basically my mind playing tricks on me. And I know I do, because I know I do need the food and I know it's going to benefit me. And I understand completely the science behind as to why I'm doing it. But as I say, when it's you are feeding it yourself, it's very, very easy to start questioning things. Bizarre really, but it's just the way it is. So my calories ended up going down pretty low. I was depleting right at the end just for the final stretch. So I was going sub 100 grams of carbs, and I was around about 2,300 calories, which I wouldn't normally do, to be honest with you, but I wanted to get this phase done faster. I'm going to be transitioning to more calories, which I haven't even decided my calories yet. So I'm going to have a little think today and I'll show you what I'm eating moving forwards from there. Anyway, also today I've got some arm wrestling training. Now, it's something that I've been training for a while now. I'm not going to go into too much detail right now, but arm wrestling's been something that I've been into for best part of, well, nearly a decade, to be honest with you. I always watch it on YouTube and I keep up to date with all of the big matches and rankings throughout the world and whatnot, and I really love it, but I never got a chance to do it. I'm now part of an arm wrestling club, and I have been for the last 4 months maybe. There's actually a ranking system which I started at the bottom of, and now I've worked my way up and I'm number 1 on right arm. Genetically, I've got long levers, well, a long forearm. I'm able to use my genetics to my advantage, which in bodybuilding I'm not able to. So It's quite cool. Left arm, I'm not number one, but right arm, I am number one of my club at the moment. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to go there and I'm going to show you a little bit of footage of me going with the guy who owns the gym, a guy called Nick, really good guy. I guess it's just quite nice to have something that isn't bodybuilding that I'm able to focus a little bit of energy on. So it sort of keeps me occupied. So yeah, arm wrestling and my transitioning food into my rebound phase.
Yeah. He give you the match. Okay. He said when he watched the match with me and you, to a point where we know you're completely safe, and then the match is all yours on the Arm Gods card.
Okay. I appreciate that, yeah, like...
He just wants to look after you.
As I said to you, like, I hate when people just jump the gun too much, and I'm so new, like, I need to be aware of that.
Yeah. I watched the video, and I can see where he comes from with it, because I'm going, and it was...
Just yank it.
It opened up, so 10, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, should we play?
That would fucking put on.
Yeah, that clamp hand. Nice. Yeah. I haven't got much for you there, pal. Let me try and go high.
Yep.
Yeah, go on.
Yep.
Oh, no. Hand's too strong. I'll try another angle. No. Too strong, mate. Too strong. We can strap. That's the only time I've got anything for you, mate. The strap may as well go up 100%.
It's like a night and day.
Yeah.
It's
So
mad.
it allows me to connect all my muscle up.
Right.
Because my hand is the weak spot, yours isn't.
Okay.
So because of that, like let's imagine our bicep strength similar. Yeah.
It might be. I don't know.
It might be. So in Arm Gods, every slip goes to straps. In Arm Wars, every slip goes to straps. In tournament arm wrestling, if it's an intentional slip, it's a foul. Intentional. When I can't get that,
Do you know what I learned?
Yeah.
And even as we were setting up, I was thinking, is he doing that already?
I want to.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
This is doing it.
I'll give it to you. Yeah.
That still didn't have it. So I was flat. I need that.
Okay.
But what I try and do is, when we start, I try and hit into that,
Yeah.
and then I get to access strength. You go up,
Right.
and when I said before I left our match, there's one lane you can beat me in.
Yep.
That's the lane.
That's it, yeah.
Denying risk up.
So if I don't do that and I try and go against you with this, I lose.
So if we do this, you might not lose because your right arm's very strong. Like my right's not my stronger one. But if we do this, now you pin it. I may stop that.
I think so.
That's the one where
so.
I've got a
Something,
chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So take what you need,
Yeah.
and I'll see if I can defend it. So you start like.
Yeah. Ready?
Yep.
Oh, he's strong.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. So your top roll opens my wrist back up again. So I even had it then, but this hand's strong enough to reopen that wrist.
Okay, I won't do that now. I'll try and battle.
Just come right in and we'll see.
Yep.
Well, it feels like you're stronger than me today. Yeah, you are. You got me today, on this arm at least.
This one, yeah.
Yeah.
This one feels good. This one.
Yeah. If I can get a bit stronger in a few areas, there may be a right arm match for us.
Yeah.
Right now it's 3-0 to you. I have to kind of show up and form, and the stars align and I do everything right for me to be in the match with you on right.
Yep.
I held on with no wrist then. That hold was my wrist back. It was all bicep. All bicep.
Oh, my shoulder, fuck.
You okay?
Yeah, I'll be okay. It's just, let me know. Oh, it's in here.
You're very strong, man. Very, very strong. I say most people can't dominate my left hand.
I think what I've learned though is once you've got the wrist,
Yeah.
I don't really have much after that, so I've got to not let you have it.
See, you're denying it.
Yeah.
Let's try this.
Sorry.
I nearly had it there. I've got one. Just come off it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Strong, mate. We'll have 30 seconds before we put that strap on, just so we're both going in a bit fresher. But that's what I'm saying is your pathway to win, because out of the strap, that's what it looks like. The only difference was, on a ready go, I was quicker than you.
Yeah.
So I got to do that against you,
Yeah.
and then you can't keep control of my hand then.
No.
So
I was so shocked. You kind of know because I've been watching for 10 years, but when you feel it, the difference of strap and no strap, I was shocked.
yeah,
I got nothing for you.
it's another world.
You were just, I looked at your face and I was like, it's embarrassing. You got nothing.
I just disconnected you.
Yeah.
That's all it was. It's, when I say I didn't feel anything, it's only because I took away where you're strong. It's not that you're not strong, it's that you didn't get to use any of it.
Yeah. Totally get it. Totally get it. Got to learn shit, like, you know, your elbow can't come off now as well, right?
Yeah.
I was just doing it all over the place the other day.
We both was. We were bobbling like mad. But
Mine was naive. That's what it is, mate.
it was like if you took the bobbles away.
A little bit this way.
You're gone.
Yep, they're going
Okay.
in. Yep. Well, I ain't got much there. So
You're different already. Ready?
Yep. I can't get you past there, man. It's totally different.
You ready?
Yep.
So what I'm doing is I now have connection to this. Now feel this. You set up as if you're about to do something, as if we're about to go. So if you get what you want,
Yep.
and I feel this.
Yep. Right.
So when I do that rising,
Yep.
usually it'd only be me rising. But
Yep.
now, when I do that,
You pull my hand,
it
right?
pulls all of you.
Yeah.
So that comes with it. Then, when I back pressure, usually when I back pressure, my hand has to keep hold. Now when I back pressure, feel that stress.
Yep. Yep.
The strap tightens in my favour, and it lets my hammer muscle do everything.
So now you've opened my hand that way and you're pulling me that way.
Yeah.
So I'm disconnected.
So I think you need 3 variables. I think there's 3 variables. There's rise, and there's cup,
Yep.
and there's pronation.
Uh-huh.
And I think if I can take 2 off you,
Yep.
you can't win. So the 2 that you like pretty much are rise and pronation. So what you like is that
Yep.
and that.
Yep.
Now they're what you do to try and contain me. So the first thing I do is take rise off you, and then I go there, and now I've got pronation.
So do you think if we were both to rise against one another, do you think that's like straight away you neutralise me there?
Probably.
But if you just
what?
rise now?
I'm already rising. Now that's cut.
I don't know,
But I like
none.
cut.
None.
Like cut in my world. So I'm happier if you do that. So I only do this because of what you do. That's not how I am wrestle.
Interesting.
So I'm only doing this form
for
because
me.
yeah. So if I do this against you, so you're going to do your move and I'm going to go. That's risky because I can get it.
Yeah.
But if you let's go for the pin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I go yeah. Now I've got it, but this is a much riskier position than this.
Right.
Because, and I think I still win there. Well, we go arm on arm, but it's a riskier position because, like, I think you're strong in there, whereas I think here I have an advantage. So that's why I went there. But let's enact it. We'll just you do anything you're doing, and I will commit to my move.
Yep. Okay.
Riskier. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's riskier for me.
It puts you closer to my pad.
Yeah.
Right.
Because of how much side pressure you have.
Right.
So instead of going against that, which would have been a riskier decision, me and you going arm in arm is more risky. So I think I still win it if I hit. But like I'll show you. Ready?
Yep.
Yeah. And then I move back here. So if I push,
What it is this, once you've got that,
Yeah.
because I can't pronate at all, but no pronation.
Yeah.
Or very little. It's like I can't crack this.
yeah. Once I achieve it,
Yeah, once you've got it,
Yeah.
it kind of, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
You just bleed me out.
Yeah.
So I'm better off just letting you win.
once I get that, you have some choices to make.
Yeah.
So let's imagine that I get that.
Yep.
Now your choice is, as I go for the pin, you should be here,
Yep.
and you want to swing that out and pronate. So as I like that, no, you've dropped too much. So you
okay.
you try and side pressure win against me, and then I go,
Okay.
and I launch into your hand. So try again.
Okay, so I'm now
Pin me.
pronating.
You know you pin me. And you see how I've launched onto my pronator? That's the way you defend once you've lost, once I've got some wrist.
So attack your fingers. So go there and go to your
So
fingers.
you have to be here, so you've got somewhere to run.
There and then up.
But what you need to do, it's not up, it's your entire body.
Yep.
So go that way, I stand there.
Yep.
Lean, don't go high. Go there and get your wrist there. So you're trying to get that to escape.
I've got a hand pump.
Yeah.
And it's, I guess, that's an experience. I don't know what that feels like really.
So
So
watch
when I do
this.
that, it feels very weak.
Watch this. So watch what I do with my body, don't watch my hand.
Right.
Shoulder
You're
is
right
still
way.
behind my hand. Because if I'm there, all this is like pin that.
Yeah.
Now pin that.
Yeah. Totally different. Fucking hell.
Yeah. So we go without the strap now. I'll stop doing my move.
Okay.
And I'll do that instead.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep. Yeah.
That's without the strap.
Yeah.
It's just not a move I do.
But
I can.
to beat me, you have to
I
do
could.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
So when you like, oh, well, do you win at the strap? My move versus your move, you win at the strap. But I know
You
more
would,
moves.
Again, your experience.
So
will
I can
take
do
over.
this as well. Ready?
Yep.
Yeah. It's another move. But again, these are not my moves, so they're a bit riskier. You see what I'm saying?
So that's what I tend to do. So I go to the front of the pad and I go high like that. Yeah.
But you drop a lot.
Yeah.
And what? Go on. Drop down. So just chill down there.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We're not, now that's vulnerable. Now come up taller. Not vulnerable.
Sure.
So your risk when you drop down like that
Should you fit? Okay. Go.
is someone going, when you're down there,
Yeah.
someone going, fuck off. And like you vulnerable to my press there down there.
So do you think that's just inexperience on my part that I'm doing that? Like.
You're trying to use your body weight, but you're not using this. Because your bicep is what keeps you closed. Your
Right.
brachialis and bicep.
Yeah.
So if I go to the back of the pad, I will do that drop, but when I do the drop, I'm trying to go,
Right.
and you're kind of going,
Yeah. I am.
and King's moving, and that's when this is going to come off. Because if I do that, then it gets pinned. That's me going to a level of extension that I can't achieve, and this bicep's going to pop right off the bone.
Right, so that's the position. I put myself in this position.
Yeah,
and then
but imagine you're in that position and you get rotated.
And
So
then-
now that biceps, look, feel the difference. And then it gets extended,
yeah,
and then slap at the very end.
Yeah.
That's when the bicep comes off. Makes sense.
yeah.
So you know when I caught you on right after your match with Darren,
yes.
and I went out of the strap,
Yeah.
and I said to Darren, "This is what you need to do."
Yep.
Like that was that move that I just showed you again. So it was just doing this. So you're gonna go slap for the pin,
Yep.
and I'm gonna and it's just that. I didn't get it then, so I'll try again. And this is why it's riskier. You didn't get it then. So it's riskier for me. But that's the move. That's what I did on my right. Yeah, just a riskier move for me.
Yeah. So
The
again-
reason I find it risky is because your hand's so strong. If your hand wasn't strong, I'd open your fingers more.
Yeah.
But it is, so I don't.
I get you. I feel like you knew I was trying to get the angle the other day.
I know.
You motherfucker.
Mate, you were always going to get the angle though. You don't have to try.
So I'm there.
So I'm here.
Yep.
You're there. On.
Yep.
Don't take anything off each other. So you just took my
There.
pronation off.
Sorry,
here.
sorry.
Let us both have it.
Yeah.
Slide. And then just a bit of back pressure.
Yep.
It's all about keeping this angle a bit nicer. 2. Keep that up.
Sorry.
Good. So pull off that. Good. Good.
The temptation is just to pin,
Yeah.
especially me as a newbie.
Yeah.
Just want to like pin and like, but that's not good when you're trying to train, right? That's
No,
like-
no, exactly. We open each other up too much.
Yeah.
So like we can do the same hooking. So that's like top row and rising. So we just go, we'll start in a hook. So we want connection. So we want
Right,
both of
yeah,
us
yeah.
to connect. And what we're going to do is you're going to be here. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to slide. Yeah.
Yep.
And you do the same. Yeah. Now when you slide, you should be dipping that.
Okay.
So I'm trying to push that down on you,
Yep.
and you do it to me. Yep, so you're trying to get me palm up. Keep your cup, you've lost cup.
You don't feel that these
No,
muscles
no, no.
working.
No.
The way that feels is like,
You're working the muscles that are specific.
Yes.
And when you are doing the moves, you are working them. But it's like, think about the difference between like, imagine I came to you as a bodybuilder and I said, you like, what do you do for your back? And I was like, just deadlift, mate.
yeah.
You'd be like, but there's so many other muscles working in your
Yeah,
deadlift. How do
yeah.
I know it's isolating, blah, blah, blah?
Yes.
It's the same thing when we do these moves. There's so many muscles helping contribute to the move. But how do you know that your specific pronate is getting work?
100%, and that's a good example. Like when people become good at a movement, without bit, like I know people
You can
who-
train movements and not muscles.
Yeah, absolutely. If your leverages favour being a good deadlifter.
Yes.
I know guys who can 300 plus deadlift for reps.
Yeah.
With a week back,
Oh yeah, 100%.
and it's like, huh.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Like
you become very efficient at moving the weight.
exactly, and I meet bench pressers who have got no stability in the shoulder, but they can bench press a stupid amount because they're so proficient at bench pressing.
Yeah.
But then you do anything outside of that perfect path, and the weak as piss. It's the same thing.
For years, that was me. I could bench 5 plates for a couple. I had no chest.
Yeah.
No chest.
And then you start training your chest instead of training bench press.
Yeah, and now I can't bench 5 plates, but I've got a chest. It's like, fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like probably like best part of 10 years ago, it was like engage the muscle before it even moves. So what people tend to do is it's like the bottom part of the row, they'll like let it go and yank up.
Yeah.
Or like-
All momentum.
So yeah, like dead stop and then engage,
Yeah.
drag through,
Yeah.
drag through,
Yeah.
and then
Through the muscle alignment.
Yes.
So whatever the penention angle of that muscle is,
Yep.
go through that angle, and you're done. It's easy. I mean,
Yeah.
it's complicated as far as know what your shit is, but it's easy to execute once you do.
yeah, easy to think about and easy to theorize, but then the execution over time.
And then executing under fatigue.
I was just about to say, yeah. So when you get tired,
It's another
temptation is just to
It's
do
another beast.
whatever. Yeah.
Well, that's where synergistic dominance happens. So we could do this, and then we get tired and we go, Now, we may as well not do them reps.
Yeah.
Like, they're now pointless because it was like nice when your upper traps are looking great.
Yeah, because you're trying to work this to failure,
Yeah.
and the moment it's about to get there, you just immediately change.
If you go off failure and help it, pointless.
Yeah.
Like,
that concludes today's arm wrestling. The majority of the time was spent doing the table stuff, as you saw. We also went into the gym and did a few different movements with cable, chin-up variations, static hold stuff and things like that. To be honest with you, it's very different from normal bodybuilding training, but I guess that's kind of what I like. I like the fact that it is a new challenge for me. As Nick was going through on the table, there's a lot of technique involved with arm wrestling. There's a lot of stuff that I'm doing wrong and that I could be doing more efficiently. Basically, with bodybuilding, over the years, a lot of the stuff that I've done will be strengthening certain parts of my body. A lot of weaknesses in the forearm, in particular my pronation, this movement here. Now, a lot of arm wrestling is if you can control someone's wrist. Now, if you're able to do this and control the match that way, bad habits I get into and certain things that I tend to gravitate towards because that's what I've done my whole life. Just trying to learn and trying to get better, but I'm actually toying with the idea of the potential of competing in December. Now, I'm still very, very new. I've only been doing it 4 months now, so I don't know if I'm necessarily at that level, but it's certainly something to at least think about. And it helps keep me stimulated and it helps keep me motivated. I like to challenge myself and see how I get on. But yeah, that's it. Anyway, home time. So as I mentioned, I was going to take you through my meals. What I've done in previous videos is I've sort of like made it and then showed like a time lapse of me eating it. I'm not going to do that. Nice and quick, nice and snappy today. Bearing in mind, I took my calories really, really low in the depletion phase. So now the calories aren't particularly high. It's around about 3,900 calories, maybe 4,000, depending on how much veg I use, because I don't actually specify the amount of veg. But yeah, give or take 3,900 to 4,000 calories. 330 grams of protein, 470 grams of carbs, and 75 grams of fat. I'm not even sure you can even read that because my writing's terrible anyway, so even if it was closer, you probably couldn't even read it. Number 1, 2 bagels, 4 whole eggs, 200 milliliters of egg whites, and an apple. Meal 2, which would be my pre-workout, 150 grams of cream of rice, 60 grams of whey, 30 grams of almond butter. I'll be working out after 2 meals. Then my intra-workout is 30 grams of cyclic dextrin. Meal 3 post-workout, 250 grams of chicken, 100 grams of rice and mixed veg. As I say, I've not specified the amount, but I use a moderate amount for most meals. Typically I'll be using onion, pepper, tomato, courgette, carrot, just things that I enjoy. Meal number 4, either pork or beef mince. At the moment I'm really into pork mince, I just find it a little bit more flavoursome, but anyway, one or the other. So it's 250 grams of that, 400 grams of potato, and again mixed veg. Final meal of the day, meal number 5, 150 grams of oats, 60 grams of whey. The start point, obviously, it's still not very high. I'm going to allow myself the odd treat here and there. After a diet phase, I always find it's a little mental respite, just to have a little bit of a switch off sometimes. So a couple of times a week, I'm just going to have whatever I want, untracked. For someone of my experience and body weight, this is not a lot of food. So I'm not going to gain too much, but combined with the off plans and the bits and bobs I'm going to have, this level me out. As I say, my calories were incredibly low before. So this will be a good reintroduction rather than just piling on loads of weight and feeling like shit, being watery, losing condition faster. So instead, I'll start here for maybe a week or 2 and then I'll build it back up. And my off season typically end at around 6, 7, sometimes even more than 7,000 calories. But this is my start point. I'm going to move on up based on what my body weight's doing, based on what my condition's doing, performance in the gym, etc, etc. Anyway, that concludes this video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.